Hi everyone, what you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Hey, looks like Aptera is continuing to get towards production, and this newscast that I'm getting ready to show you, they've already touched on it a little bit, but they go into a little bit more detail on their own. So we're going to take a look at that, and first of all, let's get into it. All right, welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you here. We thank you so much for joining Free Power. We're going to talk about Aptera as they continue to slowly get their production line operating. And right now we have a newscast that actually talks about that. And they bring up a couple of interesting things. So we will actually watch the newscast and then we will talk about it when we get through. In fact, the newscast is NBC 7 San Diego. So I think you'll find that interesting.
Okay, so Brooke Martell joins us now, and before we get to the forecast, you visited a local manufacturer working on a solar-powered car here in California. That is a big deal for us, especially when we're talking about high gas prices and, all of that.
Absolutely. And you know what? I first visited them back in 2025, in the summer of 2025. I checked in with them again in November to see how things were going. I want to show you this video. This is Aptera, or the Aptera. It's a fully solar-powered vehicle. Check it out. It has 3 wheels and it kind of looks like a spaceship. When I last checked in with Aptera Motors, the company had recently become listed on the NASDAQ and entered a shared purchase agreement. At the time, the co-CEO told us that helped the company leverage financial tools to help with production. Now they're finishing up their first 5 validation vehicles, which will help them assess the manufacturability of the Aptera and get them closer to getting these vehicles out on the road. Chris Anthony, the co-CEO, says the vehicle is fully assembled at their Carlsbad headquarters, where they will be able to produce 40 Aptera vehicles per day in the future.
It's really that we're just inching closer to production. So, as soon as these validation vehicles are through validation, then we'll really start the production planning and lining up strategic suppliers. So it's really, we've got another, 2 or 3 months of this validation work. We'll cruise into the end of the summer, really trying to line up, the manufacturing line and the supply chain to start delivering these vehicles en masse.
About 55,000 people have already reserved an Aptera, and the 400-mile range option starts at $40,000 with more affordable and slightly more expensive options as well. So pretty interesting what they're doing up in Carlsbad, and we'll continue to check back in with them as they go along.
Okay, so they seem pretty excited about the solar-powered electric vehicle that's coming out from Carlsbad, the Aptera, and we know that eventually that's what everybody's going to have to go to. But, not only is she excited, but I know we're excited. She brought out that they had actually had 55,000 orders. The last time I checked, it was 49,000 or about 50,000. So 5 more orders have been added. And Chris Anthony, he says that the vehicles that they're coming out with now basically for validation testing, which we know. And when that is over with, they are actually going to set up the supply chain and make sure that they're getting everything they need, parts and supplies, so that they could go ahead and start a slow production. And he also brought that out, that was probably going to happen around the end of the summer. And so possibly I'm suspecting that right around the end of the year, they should be making their first and second deliveries. So awesome. I think that's just great. We know that once they get started, which will be 2027, hopefully I'll be able to get my vehicle pretty soon. But she brought out another thing. She touched on that there are several vehicles. We know that if you get the launch edition, that it's $40,000 for that. And that gives you all the solar panels, the sound system and everything. But $40,000, that's a fantastic price. Remember, I did a video where people actually thought that the Aptera was about $70,000, $80,000. But anyway, she also brought out that there was some cheaper. So I'm just going to give you a rundown on from the lowest. I'm not going to go to the highest. I'm just going to go from the lowest and then just jump to the highest. So you can go on their website and figure out everything that's in between as far as what you want your specifications to be. So the lowest, if you go to Aptera, so this is it right here. If you go with the lowest, which is basically you get the 250-mile range version. You get all the solar panels. You're definitely going to want the solar panels. And, of course, front-wheel drive. And then that comes to, that's not including the open pilot, the camping kit, the pet kit, the off-road kit. None of that's included. So that came to $28,000 for that vehicle, which is a very good price considering you're getting all the panels. So we can see that the batteries is actually what pretty much cost the most. But then if you go to the highest price, okay, the highest price Aptera, and that comes with the 1,000-mile range version, all the panels, all-wheel drive, whenever they decide that they're going to do the all-wheel drive. They said that was coming, but we just don't know when. And then this also includes the open pilot, the camping kit, the pet kit, and then the off-road kit for those your adventurous individuals. That came to $61,700. And all this is before taxes and all that. So you go on from $28,000 from the lowest price up to $61,700, basically $62,000 for all the bells and whistles. So anyway, that looks pretty good to me. If you want to go the lower route version, get the 28,000-mile range version, you just have to charge up a little bit more. But of course, I mean, if you're just doing 40 miles a day, or maybe a little bit less in your commute a day, then you won't. It wouldn't matter anyway because you're just driving 40 miles. If you want to go out of town or something, you might want to get something with a lot more range than that. Of course, there's those adventurous ones who are going to get the 1,000-mile range version, and you could drive a long way with that. Of course, eventually you're going to have to stop and get something to eat, something to drink, and use the bathroom, something to snack on, get out and stretch. But I mean, there may be some who, just because they can drive that far and won't have to charge up immediately would want this vehicle. But anyway, give me your thoughts on it. Let me hear what you got to say. I know that once Aptera comes out, there's going to be a lot of interest in it. It's going to start off slow, but eventually it's going to pick up. Just like right now, EVs are picking up because the gas prices are so high. A lot of people are buying EVs. I think their EV sales are up. But anyway, you guys tell me how you feel about everything that's going on. I really appreciate your comments. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to end this right here. You guys take care. We'll catch you in the next video. And please, if you're new here, please don't forget to hit the like, ring the bell, subscribe. You'll catch all my videos when they come out. So y'all take care. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.